Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I have a crochet tutorial for you. This is the Jacob Bladder stitch. It's made from the top down. It's really easy and it's really fun to make. This would be suitable for a man or for a woman. You can leave this ribbed edge off. That's just something I kind of threw on at the end just for fun. So you can make it look more plain. And you can do your brim as long or as short as you want. You can make it as slouchy by just continuing until, another few inches and it would start to slouch. It's not hard at all. It's just double crochet, single crochet, and these are just looped chain spaces. This would be for a head circumference approximately 19 to 22 and a half inches because it is nice and stretchy. And as I mentioned, it is worked from the top down, and then when we get down here we attach the last loop of the Jacob's ladder because they loop down, and we put a brim on it. And you can use any type of brim you like as well. But that's kind of how mine turned out. I really like it. I think it's really pretty. Turned out nice. There's lots of, it's called my Chutes and Ladders hat. Chutes and Ladders beanie. And remember, it'd be suitable for a man or a woman. If you don't want this brim on it, you could take it off, and then it's more flat there. It's just slip stitch right there in a back loop. So it's easy. Very easy. You guys got this, okay? So I'm going to set this aside. Now the yarn that I used for that particular hat was my yarn, Bagoday Tonal Hues. This is available at Mary Maxim. Of course, you don't have to use this yarn, but it is a 100% premium acrylic, medium weight number 4. And it took probably not quite 200 yards, 180, 200 yards, something like that, of a 4 weight. So that's what you're going to need to get that size. But the color of this is called Miracle on Earth. But remember, you can use any 4 weight yarn that you have and any fiber that you choose. And the hook that I used is a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Do you guys want to do it? I promise. It's super easy. You got it. Let's do it. Alright, so this hat's worked top down. So we're going to go ahead and start with the slip knot on our hook. If you prefer to use the magic circle here, or magic ring, that would be just fine. I'm going to go ahead and do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to slip stitch into my first chain to form a ring. Put my middle finger through there and I slip stitch. Alright, I'm going to hide that tail as I go. Now we're going to be working through the center of the ring. The chain 1 that I do at the beginning of every row does not count as a stitch. So I'm going to chain 1. Now we need to work 12 double crochets through the center of this ring. So we just yarn over, insert our hook through the center of the ring, grab our working yarn, pull it back up, and then we go ahead and do a double crochet like normal. So there's 1 double. Again, yarn over, go through the center of the ring, grab our working yarn, pull it up, and double crochet like normal. There's 2. We want to keep going until we have a total of 12 double crochets through the center of our ring. And I'll meet back up with you when we get back around to our starting point. Alright, so I made it to the end here and I have done 12 double crochets through the center of my ring. So I'm going to go ahead and end round 1 by slip stitching into our first double crochet. And maybe here. And now we have 12 doubles here at the end. And now we're going to start round 2. Now round 2 is going to be a single crochet row. Every other row will be a single crochet row. So we are going to chain 1, remember, which does not count as a stitch. And we're going to work right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into that stitch. There's 1 and 2, and now we're going to work around, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into every stitch from the previous row, so 2 into each of the doubles, until we make it back around to the end of row 2. And when we make it back around to the end of row 2, we will have doubled our number of stitches. So we're going to have 24 single crochets when we make it to the end of row 2. All right, I'll see you there in just a second. All right, so I come to the end of row 2. And I have 24 single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into that first single crochet, and that'll end row 2. So as I mentioned, every other row is a single crochet row, and that's the row that we increase on. Now the next row, in between the single crochet rows, we're going to do the double crochets with the loops to form the Jacob's ladder effect, but we won't increase on this row. So what we're going to do is we are going to chain 1, does not count as a stitch. All right, so we are going to put a double crochet right back into that very first stitch. Double crochet, and now the next stitch we are going to work a double crochet into it, just 1 double, and then now we're going to work the loop on this double crochet. So what we're going to do is chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're just going to come right back down, and we're going to slip stitch into the same double crochet. We're going to grab that loop on the top of it, and go do that 1 loop on the top of it, and this loop on the side here. So kind of like you're doing a picot, but like a chain 10 picot, but we're making a loop. So we just slip stitch into the side of it like that, and that is how our loops are formed. And when you do those chains, you want to try to make them as even, the chains equal as possible, but I know it isn't always easy. All right, so now that's going to be the repeat now for row 3. Sorry about my dogs there. All right, so we are going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch without a loop, and then we're going to go to the next stitch, and we're going to put a double crochet into it, and then we're going to put a loop on this one. So we double crocheted, and we're going to chain 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then just come back down to the top of that same double crochet and just go through that 1 loop here that's on top, and the grab 1 on the side like that, and slip stitch. And now you've made your second ladder loop. There it is. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. So one double crochet into the next stitch, no loop, and then we double crochet into the next stitch with the loop. So on round 3, every other double crochet gets the chain 10 ladder loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring it on down and slip stitch into the same double crochet, kind of right through the side. And there is our third ladder loop. I always give a little tug like that, just not real tight, but a little one, you know, hold it in place. Then we repeat. Double crochet into the next stitch, no loop, and then double crochet into the next stitch, and then we do our ladder loop on this one. One more time, we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, sorry about that. 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down and slip stitch into the side of that same double. And we're going to repeat this process all the way around until we get back to our starting point, to the end, or the end of round 3 here. So double into the next, no loop, and double into the next one, and then we would do our chain 10 ladder. So every one on this round 3 gets the chain 10 ladder, and then there's a regular double crochet in between. I'll see you right back at the starting point. Alright, so I made it to the end of round 3, and my last stitch was a double crochet with the ladder loop, so I just did my chain 10 and I slip stitched there to lock it into place. Now we're going to end round 3 by slip stitching into our first double crochet. Now remember, we do not increase on the ladder loop rows, so we still have 24 stitches. We have 24 double crochets, and on 12 of those double crochets we put the ladder loops. So we're going to have 12 of the chain 10 loops, the ladder loops, the entire time. And as I mentioned before, there's a single crochet row in between each of the ladder loop rows. And when we're doing the crown, the single crochet rows is what we increase on. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to go ahead and start off by, these loops sometimes get in the way, but we're going to chain 1. And we are going to single crochet 1 time right back into that very first stitch. Like that. Alright, now the next stitch we're going to put 2 single crochets into it. Now it's important that when you do your single crochets that your ladder loops are in front like this. And it makes it a little hard to see, but you got to do it that way. But I'll show you up close. If you look, your chain 10, or your ladder loop, which is what I always call it, appears to be attached to this double crochet and to this double crochet. All right, so we single crocheted in the first stitch, and this next double, the one that's before this ladder loop, push the ladder loop down, it gets 2 single crochets into it. All right, 2 singles. So the increase for round 4 is what we're on. It's 1 single, 2 singles, 1 single, 2 singles, all the way around. So we're going to pull this ladder loop over because we have to make sure that we put our single crochets behind it. It's very important. And you find your next double crochet, which is on the opposite side of this ladder loop. So right there. And it gets 1 single crochet into it. Remember, the loop cannot be behind it. It has to be in front of it. It's really not hard. I'm just making it hard for some reason. So 1 single crochet into the next double, and the next double right here gets 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, and then we repeat that again. Make sure you pull this ladder loop anyway, as long as it's in the front. If it's easier to over to the side, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that it's in front. Find your next double, which is right here, and we start again by putting 1 single crochet into that stitch, and then we put 2 singles into the next double. 1 and 2. Sorry about my dogs again. We're gonna repeat that. So pull that ladder loop to the front, and we get 1 single and 2 singles. So the next double crochet gets 1 single crochet, and the next one 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and this is what we're going to repeat all the way around for round 4. Remember, one more time, it's very important that we keep those loops to the front and the single crochets go behind them. So next double crochet over here on the other side of this loop, 1 single crochet, and then the next one, 2 single crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around until we make it to the end of round 4. And when we make it around, we're going to have a total of 36 stitches. All right, and it's okay if it appears like a little pointier than normal. We're going to take care of all that, so don't worry about that. But go ahead and repeat that. Remember, 1 single, 2 single, 1 single, 2 single. Always keeping these loops forward when you put the single crochets in. All right. Oh, I'll see you at the starting point. All right, so I come to the end of row 4, and I just did 2 single crochets here, and now I'm back. Right here is my starting point, so I'm just going to pull this loop forward, and I'm going to end by slip stitching into my first single crochet, and we're going to have 36 stitches now. Now the next row is the ladder loop row. Remember, we do not increase on this row. We're going to have 36 stitches because we have 36 single crochets, and we will still maintain the 12 loops the entire time. So let's go ahead and do this. Row 5, correct? Let's do it. Chain 1, and we're going to put a double crochet into the very first stitch, and we're going to put a double crochet into the next stitch. So we put 2 double crochets there in a row. Now the next stitch is going to be the double crochet with the chain 10 ladder loop. So we're going to go ahead and double crochet into the next stitch there, and then we're going to do our loop. We're going to chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then we're going to bring it back down and slip stitch just like we did before. And that is the repeat for this row, just like that. So it is, we're working in these single crochets back here, a double crochet into the next 2 single crochets. So there's 1, and then the next one would be 2, and then the next one is a double crochet with the ladder loop. So go into it and double crochet, chain 10, come back down and slip stitch. So we are just going to continue repeating this pattern all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. One more time, we're going to double crochet 1 into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 double, and the next one, 1 double, and the next one is going to be a double crochet with the chain 10 ladder loop. So we go into it and we double and chain 10. Right down, slip stitch it, and repeat. So I'm going to continue this around. Remember, we will not increase. So we had 36 stitches on the last round. We're going to have 36 double crochets at the end of this round, and 12 of those double crochets will have the loops. So I'm going to show you real quick. When you pull it up, these loops, like I said, they kind of get in the way, but you don't want to loop them until the end. But yeah, they just pull loop like this all the way down. They look better when you get more of them, but so But yeah, you don't want to do them until you get snagged up on them if you do it before. So go ahead and repeat that pattern. There's 2 regular double crochets, and then the next stitch is a double crochet with the ladder loop all the way around until you make it back to your starting point. It looks like an octopus. Alright, so I made it to the end of row 5, and I just did my last double crochet, and the last one always has the ladder loop attached. Now I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first double, and as I mentioned, we did not increase, so we're going to have 36 double crochets, and 12 of them are going to have the chain 10 ladder loops on them. Alright, let's go ahead and round 6, I do believe. We're getting ready to start. We're going to do the single crochet row, so we're going to increase on this row. So we are going to chain 1, does not count as a stitch, and we are going to put 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, and 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then the next stitch gets 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Remember, on these ladder loop rows, or the single crochet rows, you got to pull the ladder loops forward. So 2 singles into the next double that's right next to that loop, and that's going to be the repeat. 1 single, 1 single, 2 singles, 1 single, 1 single, 2 singles. So go ahead and we'll start the repeat again. I'm going to move that loop over so I can see my double crochets here. This one's pretty close to this loop, so make sure you don't forget it. 1 single, and make sure the loop's in front. Into that one. 1 single into the next. And the next one gets 2 singles into the same stitch. And again, we're going to repeat that. I'm going to pull this loop over, and on this side we're going to repeat 1 single into the first double. Remember, the first one on this side kind of hides, so you got to pull that loop over. Just make sure it's in front. 1 single. The next stitch gets 1 single, and the next one 2 singles. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern for row 6, which is 1 single, 1 single, 2 singles, 1 single, 1 single, 2 singles. And as always, make sure you are pulling those loops forward. And this first one's an always hard one to see. 1 single, 1 single, and 2 singles. And when we make it back around and around 6, we're gonna have a total of 48 single crochets. All right, it's looking really funny. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. I hope. I'll see you at the end. All right, I'm coming to the end of round 6, and I have 48 stitches. I just did 2 here, so I'm just going to pull this loop forward, and I'm going to end by slip stitching into my first single crochet. Now we're going to move on to round 7, which is our loop row. And remember, we don't increase on this row, so we'll have 48 stitches on this row, 12 on the row we're getting ready to do. 12 of them will still be the loops. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to chain 1, and now we're going to double crochet into the first stitch, and 1 time, and 1 double crochet in each of the next 2. So that was 3 double crochets there we did in a row by themselves. And now the next one is going to be the double crochet with the chain 10 ladder loop. So go into the next stitch and double crochet, chain 10, come back down and slip stitch. So that is the repeat now for round 7. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, 1 double crochet in the next 3 by themselves. 1, 2, and 3. And the next one is going to be a double crochet with the chain 10 lighter loop. So go ahead and double crochet into the next one and do our chain 10. Down and slip stitch it like always. And we're going to repeat this all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. Remember, it's 3 double crochets in a row by themselves. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then the next stitch is a double crochet with the chain 10 loop. All right, and remember, it's probably looking kind of, you know, like a bowl. That's okay. I'll see you at the end here. All right, and we'll start the next round. All right, I'm coming to the end here, row 7, and we always end in the chain loop here. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first double crochet, and we still have 48 stitches. Now I want to do something. We're going to do the single crochet again. I told you that we would always maintain 12 loops. Well, we got I make these up as I go, so I changed my mind. We're actually going to double it, so we're going to do a double increase on this next row. All right, so we got 48 stitches now, and now we're going to start the next row, which is row 8, and we're going to start with a chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the first stitch 1 time, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1, 2, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then the next stitch here before our chain loop, 2 single crochets. So we double increased that. So now we did, this is the repeat, it's single, 2 singles, single, 2 singles. All right, and then we're going to repeat that. We're going to pull this chain loop over. Remember that first double crochet is hard to see, but it is 1 single into the first double, and then 2 singles into the next, 1 single into the next, and then 2 singles into the next one before the chain loop, just like that. And now we're going to repeat it again. Pull that loop down, and 1 single into the next double, and then 2 singles into the next double, 1 single into the next double, and then 2 singles into the next double. Pull this loop back, repeat it again. 1 single, and then 2 singles, 1 single, and then 2 singles. Pull the loop back and repeat it again, and we're going to repeat this all the way around until we make it back around to our starting point. And now we should have 48, 50, 72 single crochets when we get back to our starting point. All right, see you there. All right, so I come to the end of round 8, and I just did my last single crochet, and I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first one, and we now have 72 stitches. So we doubled up the amount of stitches we had, and now we're going to put another loop start another loop row in between these. So, all right, let's do this. You ready? We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the first, we're going to double crochet into the first stitch and start a loop row. And then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. So we just did 2 double crochets by themselves. Now the next one, we're going to double crochet and add a chain 10 ladder loop. So there's a double crochet, and then we're going to chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make it the same way. And now we are going to do a double crochet into the next 2 stitches by themselves. There's 1 and 2, and then the next one is going to be a double crochet with the chain 10 ladder loop, which will fall in line with the ones that we've already been doing. So I double crocheted, I'm going to chain 10, 3, oh, sorry, and substitch it, and that is the repeat for this round. Like that. Again, we're going to put a double crochet into the next 2 stitches by themselves. So there's 1 double, and then a double into the next. And now the next one is going to get a double crochet as well as the chain 10 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it back down. Slip, stitch, and now again double crochet into the next 2 stitches by themselves. So there's 1 double, 1 double, and then the next one is going to get a double crochet with the chain 10 ladder loop, which will fall in line with the other ladder loops that we've already done. So double crochet, chain 10, and slip stitch. So this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. So we kind of just doubled up. Sorry, I said there would only be 12. Sometimes we got to improvise in the mid project. So it's double, double, and then a double chain 10 ladder loop, double, double, double chain 10 ladder loop. So what we're doing is we just included another ladder loop. So these all still fall in line with the ones that we have, and we just started a new row right here in the middle of them. So when we make it back around, we're going to have 72 double crochets still, but now 24 of them will have the chain 10 loops on them. And that's what we're going to maintain the rest of the time, is the 24. All right, I'll see you back at the starting point. All right, so I made it to the end there of round 9, and as I mentioned, I just went ahead and slip stitched there in my first double crochet. You'll have 72 double crochets, and 24 of them will have the loops. So you're going to have 24 loops now instead of 12. Sorry about that again. All right. Now let's take a quick measure. Flip it over, and we're just going to measure the crown part. I like to shoot anywhere between 6 to 7 inches. Don't count the loops, so just the crown part. Oh, I'm good. 7 inches on the nose, almost. All right, so I'm not going to be increasing anymore. So that last round that we just did will be the first row of the repeat. So we're just going to be repeating that last round and then a single crochet row, and the loop row and the single crochet row. We won't be increasing anymore. We're going to be keeping 72 stitches. So for this next row here, which is row 10, we are going to chain 1. Now remember, we're not doing any increasing, all right? We're going to keep the 72, but we still need to make sure that our single crochets or the loops go in front. We're going to put a single crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. This is round 10, I do believe, yes. Like that, and you got to pull this one forward. There's 3 double crochets in between each of the loops, all right? So make sure you put a single crochet in each of those doubles, each of those 3 doubles between the loops, and make sure that you bring the loops forward, and then slide it over the side. You'll be able to see your 3 doubles. Put 1 single crochet in each of them. No more increasing. We're good to go on that. And then roll your loop over, and you find your 3 doubles right there. 1 single crochet in each of those. So I'm going to continue around, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Remember, 72 is our magic number. 72 and 24 loops. 24 loops that are attached to the 72. So I'm going to do 1 single in every stitch. I'll make it back around. I'm going to have 72 single crochets. I'll meet back up with you, and we'll go ahead and do the chain 10 ladder loop row one more time, so I can show you how they line up. And then we'll just be repeating those 2 rows, always having 72 stitches, always having 24 loops, until we get the hat a little bit longer, and then we'll be able to hook those loops together. It'll look much better when they're attached. All right, I'm going to continue around with my row of single crochet, and I'll meet back up with you at the beginning. All right, so I made it to the end of round 10, and I still have 72 stitches. And every time we repeat row 10, the single crochet row, we're always going to have 72 stitches. I ended with a slip stitch in my first single crochet. Now round 11, we'll just say rounds 10 and 11 are the repeat rows. So round 11, we're going to do the loop row. All right, so we are going to chain 1, and we are going to put a double crochet back into that very first stitch, and then double crochet into the next stitch. So we do 2 double crochets by themselves, and then the next stitch we're going to put a double crochet with a chain 10 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slip stitch it. And then again, we're going to do a double crochet into the next 2 by themselves. So there's 1, 2, and the next one is going to be a double crochet with a chain 10 loop. And that is the repeat now for round 11. It's going to take a little while before it really starts to look like a hat, and it's going to look really weird until we loop these loops together. But let's go ahead and do that again. So we're going to do a double crochet by themselves into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 double, go to the next one, 1 double, and then the next one is a double with a chain 10 loop. So double crochet, chain 10, slip stitch, and again double crochet the next 2 by themselves. So there's 1 double, go to the next one, 1 double, and the next one is a double with a chain 10 loop. So that's the repeat. It's a chain 10, it's double crochets with chain 10 loops, and they each have just 2 regular double crochets in between them. So let me show you real quick. So now what we've done, we've kept the original 12 lined up, as you can see right here, and then we've started another section here in the middle. So it'll look better when they're tied. So we're just going to repeat this all the way around. It's, as you can see, it's double, double, double with the chain 10 loop, double, double, double with the chain 10 loop, all the way around. Your last stitch will be a chain 10 loop, double crochet with the chain 10 loop, and then you slip stitch here. And then we go around and we repeat around 10, which is 1 single crochet in every stitch. 72 stitches. Then you do this loop row again. Repeat it, 72 stitches, and then of those 72 stitches, 24 of them will have loops, and you just keep repeating those 2 rows, single crochet row and the loop row. Like I said, it's gonna take a long time before it looks normal, but I'm gonna continue these, and I'll let you know how many rows I do total and how we're gonna end it and everything. So let me put a few more rows on this. Alright, so from the very first row down, I have completed a total of 18 rounds. Like, that's starting from round 1 all the way down. I just finished out round 18, which was a single crochet row, and I still have 72 stitches. Now, for the next round, I am going to, instead of doing the chain loops, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm just going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch without the loops, because I have to attach the loops to a row. So I'm just going to double crochet back into that first stitch, and now I'm just going to work around, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet in every single stitch, not doing any chain 10 ladder loops. So I'm just going to have 72 double crochets when I make it to the end of row 19. Remember, 1 double crochet in every stitch, no chains. Alright, I'll see you at the end. Alright, so I made it to the end of round 19 doing 1 double crochet in every stitch, and I just slip stitched there into my first double crochet. Now you don't want to tie off, but you do want to draw up a loop or put a tie on it or something so you don't lose it, because we're going to continue along. But first we got to make all these latch together. So let's just start. We want to start at the top. So remember, we had 12 at first for a few rows, and then we switched to 24. So just kind of grab it, and you want to make sure that you keep your rows lined up. So I'm just going to start like right here. You take the top one here, and then the one that's in line with it, right below it, and you put the one below it through that loop and out like that, and you do this all the way down, and it forms a chain. Just make sure that you keep them all in the same line. So now we go to the next one that's in line below it. Take this one up below, put it through, and the one that you just put it through, pull that one down, and here's your new one. And then you go and find the next one here in line, straighten them out if they're kind of crooked. Pull it from the bottom, pull it through that loop, and this loop now goes down, and your new loop's up. And you find your next loop right here. Goes from the bottom up. Your old loop goes down, and here's the new loop. And you do this all the way down. Here's your next loop, new loop right here, new loops right here. Pull it from the bottom up, old loop goes down, new loop's up now. Find your next one right here, pull it through, old loop goes down, new loop goes up, and we do it all the way to the end. Here's the last one. The new loop goes through the bottom, old one goes down, and then we just leave this guy here for now. We'll attach him here in a little bit. So we do this all the way across, and then you want to keep everything in line, and then you can straighten them up and everything. But do remember we have that extra row that we did in between. So here's the long row that I just looped up, and the next long row will be right here. But in between those, we have a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops in between each of the long rows. So make sure you keep them lined up. We'll just go ahead and do that 5 loop row. Here's the first one, and then your new loop would be right below it. So put your new loop through the bottom of that old loop. Old loop goes down, new loop's up now. Grab the one that's right below it. We'll call this the new loop. Pull it through the loop from the bottom, old loop goes down. Here's your new loop now. Grab your next one here in line right here, pull it through, and you do this all the way until you don't have any more loops left, and just leave those last loops hanging because we'll take care of those in a little bit. And then you can move over, and now we're going to be doing the long row here like we just did. The long row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 loops. So I'll show you again on that. And we're just going to do this all the way down or all the way through. Just one row at a time. Sorry. Okay. Top loop. I call this the new loop. Pull it through. Old loop goes down, new loop's up. Grab the one underneath it. This is the new loop. Goes through the bottom and out the top of the old loop. Old loop goes down, new loop comes up. Alright, now this is the new loop. Goes through the bottom. Old loop goes down, new loop comes up. And we just do this until we have no more loops left. And remember, you can straighten them up later. Let's get them all attached first and how they're supposed to be, and then you can kind of fiddle with them later and get them straightened out. And all the way down to the end, and just leave these last loops there hanging, and we'll take care of them when we attach our yarn again. Alright, there's that one. And next up is a short row, I do believe. Oh man, it's hard to see what's going on. I think I messed up. I messed up. No, I didn't. Short rows down here. All right. It's hard to see because I started that second row now. I see it now. Anyway, so you just continue to do this until, remember, just to make sure that you keep them lined up, okay? The rows need to be straight. And leaving that last loop, all the last loop on all of them there. Done. Alright, so I got 2 long rows done, 2 short rows, and I'm going to continue around until I got them all done, and these are hanging, and we'll start from there. Alright, that was a lot of loops. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up where we left off here. So we got our bottom loop is down here on all of them, just hanging out, right? So what we're going to do now is a single crochet across, but we're going to single crochet these down. Alright, so we're going to start off with a chain 1. In this very first loop, we're going to put 2 single crochets in each loop, but this first one we're just going to do 1, and then at the end we'll put the other. So we're going to go in to the loop and then into that very first stitch as well, and place just one single crochet like that. Don't worry, you'll be able to move them around and stuff, but like that. It will do the second one at the end, okay? And now we're going to put this stitch right here, just 1 single crochet in between the loops. All right, now all the rest of the loops, until we get back to this last one, we're going to put 2 single crochets in them, and it's going to take 2 stitches. So we're going to go into this next loop and into the next single crochet and single crochet, and then we're going to go into the same loop and into the next next double crochet and single crochet. So 2 stitches, 2 single crochets like that, and then there'll be 1 double crochet in between every row. It just gets 1 single crochet in by itself, no loop attached. All right, and then we come up to our next loop. So we're gonna single crochet 2 times, 1 in this stitch and 1 in this one. So we go through the loop first and we go into the next stitch, single crochet, and through the loop again, and find your next stitch and single crochet. And now there's 1 empty in between the rows of loops, and we just put 1 single crochet into that one. And then we move on to our next loop right here. It's gonna single crochet in that stitch and that stitch, going through the same loop. So go into the loop, single crochet into the next stitch, and go into the loop again and single crochet into the next stitch. So that's 2 into that loop, and then here's the next one, but there's always that 1 empty in between that we just put 1 single crochet. And this is what we're going to do all the way across until we make it to the end. And of course, you probably guessed that the end is going to be the last, since this just has 1 single crochet in it. We'll end by putting the second one in there. But anyways, I'm going to continue with this pattern all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you here at the end. Alright, so I'm coming all the way back around, and here is the very first one where we put 1 single crochet in it. Okay, so there's 2 left. One of them has to be an empty, or no loop in it, so we just put a single crochet in it. And then the last stitch here, we go through the first one that the first loop we went through, and we finish it off and go into that last stitch and single crochet that second loop like that. And now we end by slip stitching into the first single crochet. Now we'll still have 72 stitches because we didn't skip any. Remember, you can always go back and straighten these up. Now you could try your hat on and see if it's long enough for you. I'm actually going to put a brim on mine, but I'm going to keep a very simple brim. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go around and work single crochet, just a single crochet brim, but the first row I'm just going to work in the loop furthest away from me. So let me see, I'm gonna chain 1, yeah, and go into the back loop and single crochet like that, and I'm gonna put 1 single crochet in the back. Let me see if I like that back loop of every single crochet all the way around. I don't know, I don't ever think that the single crochet in the 1 loop gives a very defining line. Okay. I think it'll be okay. All right. So you can do your brim however you want. And you can do it for as big as you want. I'm going to work around and I'm going to do 1 round of single crochet and continue. I'm just working in the back loop, or the loop that's furthest away. 1 in each loop. When I get back around, I'm still going to have 72 single crochets. And then I'm going to go back to working through both loops. And I'm just going to go around and do, you know, a few rows of single crochet for the brim. I'll let you know how many I do. So when I get back around here, remember I'm just working in the back loop, the one furthest away, 1 single crochet in every stitch. I will end in the slip stitch, and then I'm going to start again, but I'm going to go through both loops around. This is the only round I'm going to go through the back loop. And I'll have 72 stitches again, and I'll just continue doing rows of single crochet, maybe just a couple, I don't know, I'm not certain. But you can do as many as you want, but I'm going to finish mine up and I'll let you know how many I do. Alright, so I did a total, counting the row that I did in the back loop and all the remaining rows, it was a total of 6. So 1 in the back loop and then 5 regular. You do as many as you'd like to make your brim as long or as short as you'd like. I'm going to do one, I think I'm going to try to do one other thing here. So I'm just going to, before I tie that yarn off. Like I said earlier, I don't really like that defining line very well. I should have done something different. But maybe, just maybe, you don't have to do this either. I'm going to start some yarn, so I'm going to hide that tail in a bit. Back here. And this front loop that we didn't work into on that first row of single crochet, I'm going to start my yarn in it, in one of them, near back here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I think I'm just going to go across, and I'm going to go into each of those back loops, or front loops, I'm sorry, that I didn't work into, and put a slip stitch into each of them. I'm just going to see what that looks like. I think it'll make it pop out, that line pop out a bit more. That way it'll be a little bit more defining. But remember, you don't have to do this. I'm just messing around. It's your hat. You do it however you like to do it. But yeah, I'm going to work around, and then that back loop of every front loop or back loop, whatever loop I didn't go into. I'm going to just go into it now and just work a slip stitch. And if I don't like it, I'll take it out. But yeah, I'm just working the slip in that one loop all the way around until I get back to my starting point, and then I'll slip stitch in the same stitch that I started in, and then I'll hide all my tails and take a look at it, see if I want to do anything else. Probably not. I would imagine I'd be done. So that's it for this hat. I hope that you did enjoy the tutorial. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Let me take that out. Oh man. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It makes it stick out. It gives it a little bit more of a defining line. So yeah, I'm just going to slip stitch around. And then I'll tie off. There'll be a picture of it finished at the front. Or I'll show it to you finished at the front. I haven't recorded the front, the start of the video yet. Alright, well that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And check out all my other videos. I have, so many. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Beyond hundreds into the thousands. Anything you could ever want to make. So I'll see you guys on my next video, whatever it might be. Take care. Bye guys.